It's not even real bread.
What's up, ego hackers?
That's not our catchphrase. Don't listen to her.
What do you... What is our catchphrase?
Don't steal.
Hey, we're part of the same community, and I also have the same spirit as Chase.
But it's my job to steal. I'm the TE user. Speaking of which...
Oh, yeah. But you were going off about how great TE is because of the economy and all that.
Did I? No. I just know what it is.
No, you were going off about like how great TE is and how super powerful it is. What are the benefits of? Okay, first of all, what is TE, and how are people using it irresponsibly? And what are the benefits?
By not verifying their beliefs, because it's easy to be attached to a belief. But as long as you verify, TE is powerful because the genius of the collective is better, smarter than any individual. I don't care how smart you are.
So TE is extroverted thinking, and it's outsourcing your thoughts to other people's thoughts, basically.
It's inductive, and it's like throwing a bunch of opinions into a ballot box and then getting the average of those opinions.
Very relevant. TE is also a more concrete way of thinking than TI is.
Yeah, very belief focused, which I can see in myself. That's fine.
Basically, when you're an extroverted thinking user, you're going around asking people for their thoughts and asking for people like what they've found, what conclusions that they've come to, and you collect that all together and like sort through it and figure out what makes the most sense. If you're a higher TE user, you do this at least. If you're a lower TE user, like a TE child or a TE inferior, then it's kind of like
you're more likely to latch on to something.
Yeah, because they haven't like. Especially the TE child it has incomplete thinking, whereas a higher TE user is using both concrete thinking and abstract thinking at the same time, TE and TI, just with one in higher priority than the other.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to add about TE?
I don't think one is superior over the other.
Well.
Yeah.
But you tend to do one more than the other as well.
Yeah, I use TE. It's great. I don't have to think for myself most of the time. If I don't believe in reinventing the wheel, it's a waste of time.
I reinvent the wheel just because it's easier for me to do so.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't want to. I don't trust myself to get it right. Oh,
this is a reason that I've been thinking about why people often mistake INTJs for ENTPs and vice versa. INTJs take the stance of everybody else is being irresponsible with the information that they're collecting. And ENTPs have the belief that everybody else is being irresponsible with what they think. And that can come off the same way. It's basically somebody is being uneducated versus somebody's being ignorant. It's the same basic kind of thing. You'll probably end up calling someone stupid just as frequently as I do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. When you take things to its logical conclusion, you'll realize that people are just self-interested. So they're actually not stupid. They're just acting in their self-interest. But still, it's frustrating.
Sometimes they're stupid.
Sometimes they are stupid and just doing the best they can. I can't be mad at you. Hopefully you can help someone. This is not MBTI, it's a system separate from that. So you should take this video on its own or pair it with C.S. Joseph's work, because it's his research.
Well, it's a lot of things. It's basically like a little bit of everybody, you know? It's like, like you were saying, it was Plato, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung.
Some TE shit right there.
Yeah.
Everyone, you just collect the best bits from everything, which is what Chase did very well.
He streamlined it.
Yeah.
This is what people do. It's like Minecraft was created from some other stupid game that Notch made better.
That's true. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So was League of Legends. League of Legends used to be Warcraft 3 or something. Nobody played that shit. C.S. Joseph's 4 sides of the mind dynamics theory is basically what League of Legends is to Dota.
Good analogy.
Yeah. I did it. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much TE covered. Extroverted thinking. They care more about statistics. they're more likely to ask around for what people think before they decide to think.
Or get it somehow.
Yeah.
If you're an introvert, you don't necessarily ask yourself.
Yeah. Well, you have the
You'll
internet.
hit up the library.
Yeah. I was like, if you didn't have the internet, what would you do to get your tea?
Library.
You wouldn't go asking people.
No, why? The library's quicker.
Mm.
What if no one's smart around me?
So that's TE covered. TI is more like it's internal thinking, obviously, and subjective. It is subjective. You create it within your own mind. You can ping off of other people, but generally you're not asking them for their thoughts. You're just listening to the things that they say, and it's generally like if they're complaining about, like, for example, I come to the logical conclusions that I come to usually come off when I'm what
I'm listening.
oh, okay. Usually come out when I'm listening to other people's problems, and then I can think of logical solutions. It's not that they're telling me their thoughts, it's they're telling me their feelings. And then I can be like, okay, I figured out something new and logical that I can use from this scenario. And that might be like partially empathy and partially intuition. But,
Right.
yeah.
Well, your judging function is dictating where your thinking goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's more what Carl Jung said. Your feeling takes precedent over thinking. They both can't take place at the same time. And feeling being the more animalistic, the more original system is going to take precedent over thinking. You can't do both.
Yeah. It's just, feeling is just faster.
Mm-hmm. It's more primal.
Mm-hmm.
It is faster.
Yeah.
It's also wise in the sense that it's wise in the sense that it's going to put you first, your feeling.
Oh.
It's going to make you prioritize your self-interest. So,
Right.
yeah.
When you have a TI user that's not like a T, so they don't have complementary TE, like I think generally if you have TE below if you have TE below number 6, then you're not a
Number
thinker.
6, yeah, that's so cool. Interesting way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, you get to TE critic, and then it's like, because then you're getting into trickster and demon territory, and then it's like you're not a thinker. So TI users like TI child and TI inferior, they are still generating logic, but they have a lot harder of a time articulating it because, and that's like how I realized that logic was like a really abstract thing, because there was this one time an ENFJ was talking to me. He was talking to me in an ESTP, and he was trying to like he was just going off and off and off about like these ideas that he had about society, but it was like so poorly articulated and so poorly thought out.
Yeah.
But it still made logical sense. It's just that he had such poor articulation that it was frustrating the ESTP because it was abstract. But but I understood it because I understand abstraction. So it was still hard because it was still like really inarticulate, but I sat there and listened to him, and I was able to turn his like thinking into a more concrete way of saying it so the ESTP could understand it.
Okay.
When I have little experiences like that, I start to realize things like, oh, logic starts off as really abstract, and if you don't pair TI with TE, then your logic is abstract.
Well, TI has no reference point, and TE gives you that reference point because extroverted is based in the real world.
Exactly.
And TI needs a starting point before you can logically deduce from that point, or else the whole thing's garbage. You can't start from a fantasy standpoint and then start logically deducing an accurate model of reality.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start off with a baseline of reality, then logically deduce it from there.
Well, you don't have to start that way, but that's how you start.
Alright.
Yeah. I start the opposite way.
Yeah, but if you have the wrong data, like this. I'm looking at stats with TE.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, you start off with TE and then you go to logic to make sure the TE is accurate. But I'm the other way around. I start off with logic and then I go to TE to make sure my logic is
If you never use TE, your logic is garbage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
saying
what I mean.
as
You
well.
need that data point. You need that objective standard. So if I told you a false statistic that's just completely untrue and asked you to conclude something from it, anything you conclude is inaccurate.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
I fed you bad data.
Yeah, that's
That's what I
true.
mean.
Yeah. It's logically sound,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's garbage unless that logic started from a place of reality, something concrete, something that actually is true. Because you can logically follow anything.
yeah, I used to world build off of like very little
Yeah.
amounts of data from like cartoon shows and come up with these like conspiracy
That
theories.
must be. Bugs Bunny must have 3 children at least because that motherfucker died at least 3 times. In episode 230, he died. How did he come back? Logically speaking, he
Yeah.
went, you know,
If you
Tom and Jerry. Tom shouldn't have came back. I counted 27 lives. So this is the third. We're on the 4th Tom because Jerry killed him. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, sure, that's logically sound, but it's a cartoon.
Also, Tom. Also, Tom is an. Also, Tom is an invertebrate because he keeps getting smashed with pianos and nothing's
Yeah,
happening
then you
to
can
him.
go from there. It's like, if he's an invertebrate, then how is he walking around? Well, he must have some kind of artificial spine or something. Or maybe there's no gravity in that world.
Yeah,
See how silly it can get?
yeah. That's a good example of useless, baseless logic.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say?
Useless, baseless. Baseless is a good word.
Baseless. That yeah.
No, TE likes words. I like labels.
You like? Oh yeah.
That's why I always
he
point
does.
out that's a good way to describe it. Being able to compact it into something I can just put in a box.
Yeah,
Very
nice, neat little pretty
Yeah.
box. TE likes organization.
Yeah.
That's what TE likes. If you were to visualize TI and TE right next to each other, I think what TE would look like would be like this nice, neat, kind of like bulleted list of things and why those things are supported by other things. Like, you know, that kind of, or like those paragraphs that you see in newspapers or whatever, and they're like, like big header, smaller subtitle, supporting thing right there, some bullet points, some little factoids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what TE looks like to me. When you're talking about TI, it's more like a flow chart of ideas, and sometimes the flow chart expands into other flow charts, and then they converge again, and it's just like this like map of dialogue, and it's pretty disorganized.
Right.
It's like a story. Logic is like a story, and TE is like statistics and stuff.
Statistics and stuff.
What would you say it is?
I'd have to think about that. You're good at coming up with like metaphorical ways to explain something like that, but I need some time to decide what I think is the best way to say that. I can't think of anything better than my ballot box metaphor. That's what TE is. It's an average of all opinions.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
it's like
a ballot
which
box.
which thing is true? Vote in the comment section.
Yeah,
below.
and then you can take the average of those answers. Literally, not any one answer. You take the average of those and say that's the most correct one. So if I say guess the weight of this bison, and then you took all the guesses together and took the average number of all those guesses, that average would be more accurate than any one of those guesses.
Yeah, that's probably true. And it's
Definitely
not like
true.
yeah, because you have a bunch of TI users in the mix as well, so it's like
Different levels of experience. As long as those TI users didn't, well, it doesn't have to be TI. It can be anyone. As long
Yeah.
as anyone didn't interfere with the other person's subjective guess.
oh, like they didn't influence each
Yeah,
other.
if they didn't influence each other, as long as you didn't have groups deferring to any one person who claims to have more expertise on the guessing of his weight. Then if you just took everyone's answer and just got the average, it would be more accurate than any one answer.
Yeah. Yeah, when people disregard TE for being lazy thinking, it's not where lazy thinking comes from. People think that TE users are like more prone to like responding to propaganda, but propaganda actually is where lazy thinking comes from. Like,
yeah.
Lazy thinking isn't TE or TI. TE, if it's responsible, will go out and find all the information regardless of what is being fed to them right then and there. Because propaganda is only one source.
Propaganda works exactly once from your source. If I know I was lied to, I'm gonna not believe anything you say automatically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
so
like,
it worked once.
Yeah, TE isn't people just mindlessly being like, oh, okay, that's the truth. That's not how TE works. Like, they'll, by definition, they're gonna be like, okay, you say that, but this person says this, and that person says that, so what's true? But, like, you gotta use everything in your toolbox. All these people arguing on the internet about what's right and what's wrong because the book said this is like, okay, but can you actually apply that in real life?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, there are a few people in the community that just get so up their own about the
intellectuals. That sounds like intellectuals to me. It's my little label for people who think they're smart and they don't verify anything they know. They have these genius models on how the world works and just go with it.
Yeah, like you have to come at me with your fanciest words.
Yeah, where's your? Yeah.
The whole TE thing, people saying TE users are stupid. People that have TE demon and TE trickster, they don't come off as smart most of the time. Like, unless they work to develop it. An ENFJ, an ESFJ, ISFJ, INFJ, they have a lot of trouble convincing people of their logic. Even though it is logic, you need both rationale, which is TE, and logic in order to support your any kind of claims that you make.
Yeah. Now you're meeting a lot of people that just outright dismiss certain types for being worse.
Oh yeah,
objectively.
ENFPs get dismissed all the time, and people have this like TI master race kind of thing. Like it's like, oh, you're low TI user, haha, you dumb. It's like, it's not just, oh, you're for your top priority and that's it. It's just like that's your starting point, right. And then it can expand into other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did get off topic, but you got plenty of good stuff.
Yeah. That's a good video. This was 30 minutes of footage. That's pretty good.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.